This is going to be for the 4x4 pumpkin bags. So first thing you're going to do, hoop some cutaway stabilizer on your 4x4 hoop. Make sure it's tight like a drum. You're going to go ahead and run the first color stop, which is the placement. So put your hoop on your machine and run the color stop. So once you have something that looks like this, you're going to go ahead and line your zipper up here so that the teeth are centered within this little tiny box here. I had a ton of this, so I'm going to use this one, and it's cut to 6.5 inches long. I prefer it to hang off of both ends a little bit. It makes it easier for me to put the zipper pull on. It should look something like that. My zipper pull is all the way to the end, and it is centered in that little box. A good way to tell if you have it centered is if you flip it. If you hold it up to the light, you can see where your teeth are and where your zipper tape is, and you can see that it's within that box. So that's very helpful. So now, once you have it like this, you can go ahead and run the second color stop, which will tack down the zipper, as you can see I did right there. The next part of this involves adding the top and bottom panels. For that, you're going to use pieces of vinyl that look like this. This one is a 2 by 5 1/4, and this one is a 3 by 5 1/4. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the straight edge and line it up with the zipper teeth, and make sure that those stitching lines are underneath the vinyl. So make sure you have it all covered. Bring it back to your machine and run the next color. This is what it should look like after that step. It is now attached to the bag and the zipper. Now you're going to go ahead and do the same thing with the bottom piece. You line it up to the zipper teeth as straight as you can, and then go stitch it on. So now you have something that looks like this, and the next step is going to be the placement stitches for the face. Go ahead and put it on your machine and run that step. You'll now have something that looks like this. I'm going to use for my applique some of this striped vinyl that I have. It's just a scrap piece. I'm going to go ahead and make sure it covers the entire design, and then I'm going to tack it down. It should look something like this. So now what you're going to do is you're going to cut as close as you can to these lines without cutting them, and cut all this excess over here off. I like to use these duckbills. They are great. I think I have them linked in the files section on the website. But really any duckbills will do. After you cut it out, you'll end up with something that looks like this. And the next step is to add the satin around the face, which I'm going to do right now. You should end up with something that looks like this. The next step in the pattern is to add the lining to the top. For 4x4s, I don't really like to line them, so for this one, I'm not going to. But feel free to line it if you'd like. It's in the pattern. What I am going to do for this one is add a little strap, so you can add a little wristlet, great for coin pouches and for cash and stuff like that. So what I do is I cut a strip of vinyl. This is about 3/4 of an inch by maybe 4 inches. Let me see. So it's 3/4 by 3.5, close. And then I take this O-ring or a D-ring and slide it on and fold it in half. I'll show you how that should look like that. Now you could really put this anywhere you'd like. I'm going to put mine probably right here just because that's where I prefer them. So I'm going to go ahead and add that and show you what. The next thing I'm going to do is bring in my zipper to the center. It should look like this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of tape over this and the zipper to keep them within the box here so they don't get caught in the seam. So mine looks a little bit like this. So now what you're going to do is you're going to find a piece of vinyl that covers this entire area. I'll find one and be right back. I have this piece right here. It's a 4.5 by 6, and you're going to paste it front side down, pretty side down, like this. Just like that. Make sure the entire piece is covered where it stitches. And if you want to add a lining just on the back with raw edges, you can just put a piece of something facing right side up, like pretty side up, and that's what you'll see inside the bag. Because I didn't want to line it, I just went ahead and ran the second to last color stop, which is the one that doesn't use lining. And it looks like this. So now what I'm going to do is flip it over and show you how the back looks. This is how the back looks. You go ahead and clean it up, take out the tear away. It'll look perfectly fine on a 4x4 without a lining. You can go ahead and remove it from the hoop. Go ahead and cut it out. Once you cut it out, it'll look something like this. You can now go ahead and flip it through the zipper. Once you flip it through the zipper, you'll have this really cute little coin pouch for all of your change and cash needs. There it is, all zipped up. Ta-da!